Hello, Mad Scientists, and welcome once again to the Mad Science Lab. We are so glad you're here. Now, I was thinking, that's an important word to use. I was thinking the other day about what we should talk about. I asked Jeremy and the boys, and they both went, huh? And so they weren't really thinking. We just started talking about it, and we realized, how are we thinking? That's something we should talk about. So when you think, you use a very important part of your body called your brain. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Now, the brain is only part of what we're going to talk about. We're also thinking, there's that word again, about our central nervous system. That doesn't mean I'm always scared or wondering what's going to go on. It's a system in the body that starts with the brain and it controls our entire body, especially our questions, our thoughts, our learning, our skills. All of these things are controlled by the brain and the nervous system. Oh yeah. The nervous system is made up of three different things. First of all, the brain, which we're talking about, and then the spinal cord, which is like, it runs right down through the middle of our back. It's like a string. Oh yeah. In between some bones. Yeah. And then a large network of nerves that covers all the parts of our body so that our body, even our fingertips and our toes and every part of our body can communicate with our brain and with each other. That's a lot to figure out. Well, let me tell you about it. Together, the nervous system helps the different parts of the body communicate and allows our brain to control what's going on. Without the nervous system, our brain would just be a whole bunch of mush. It wouldn't know anything that was going on in the outside world or even within our body. It wouldn't be able to control things. The brain and the spinal cord together make up what is called the central nervous system. Yeah, oh yeah. The brain is faster than the fastest computer you have ever thought about. Your amazing brain controls every move you make, even as you're watching this video and thinking about Chick-fil-A at the same time. That's because your brain works well. It tells your muscles when and how to move. It lets you feel emotions. It lets you laugh, cry, hug, enjoy hanging out with Jeremy and the boys. It controls all of that. And it helps you learn new things, ask questions, get the questions answered, and even get out of the way of danger. Your brain keeps working even when you're asleep. That's how you dream. It sends signals to keep your heart going, to keep your lungs drawing in breath, and to make your eyelids blink. All of that controlled by your brain and the central nervous system. Okay, so I've talked about the brain a lot, but what is it, where is it, and how does it work? Well, it's actually an organ that lives inside your skull, right up in this area of my body, okay? And it's about the same size as both of your fists put together. Here, do this. Put your fist out like this, put your fist out like this, hold them together like that, and look down. That's about the same size, kind of the same shape as your brain. Yeah. In order to make sure that it's protected, it's got this big series of bones around it called your skull. And it's covered in wrinkles and protected by a fluid, so it just kind of floats around in there. You might have heard somebody call it gray matter when people are talking about the brain. Well, that's because it is gray matter. Here, check this out. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Not very impressive, but that is your brain. Yeah, it's in charge of everything, even the things that you don't think about. Well, like I said earlier, like breathing or your heart moving or anything like that. The brain has many different parts that work together. And we're going to talk about 5 of those parts today, which are the key players on the brain team. Okay, so here we go. Let's jump right in talking about the parts of the brain. The first thing is what I like to call the cerebrum. There's that word. And there's where it is located in your brain. The biggest part of the brain is the cerebrum. The cerebrum is the thinking part. It controls voluntary muscles. And the ones that move when you want them to move, those are voluntary muscles. So you need the cerebrum to dance or kick or play soccer. Well, for me, I would need a lot more than my cerebrum to dance because I can't dance. Yeah, you need the cerebrum to solve math problems. 2 + 2 is 4. My cerebrum at work to figure out a video game. Let me see if I turn that square around and put it in here, then Tetris. Yes, you need your cerebrum to draw a picture. We are going to draw a picture later in this show. Pretty cool. And if I remember that to draw a picture later, that's because my memory lives in my cerebrum, both short term and what I ate for dinner last night. Yeah, long term memory. It's all in the cerebrum. It has two halves. Remember when I did this? Take a look again. Two halves with one on each side of your head. Scientists think that the right half of your brain helps you think about abstract, big word, things like music and colors of shape, and the left half of your brain is said to be more analytical. Another big word. Yeah, helping you with math and logic and speech. I think I'm going to draw a picture of a kitten. A kitten has 2 paws, 4 paws, and a head and whiskers. I think a kitten's soft and cuddly. I think a kitten is gray, and I need to use different colors of gray to make sure I get the right shading. I think a really cute gray kitten would purr and make me feel so much better. I think a gray kitten with 3 different shades of penciling would look pretty good. And then we put those together and we come up with both sides of our brain, both the analytical, which tells me how things work, and the soft, fluffy side. If that really works that way, that's really cool. But scientists do know for sure that the right half of the brain controls the left side of the body, and the left half of the brain controls the right side of the body. And even with my cerebrum, I can tell that that's a little bit confusing. On to the next one, the cerebellum. Yeah, the cerebellum is the back part of the brain, down here, kind of below the cerebrum. It's a lot smaller than the cerebrum, but it's a very important part of the brain. It controls balance. It controls movement. It controls coordination. It controls how the muscles work together. Because of the cerebellum, you can stand upright, keep your balance, even spin around in a circle just like that. Imagine a surfer riding the waves on his surfboard. Imagine riding your bicycle really fast, and then all of a sudden you realize you got to take this curve on the curve going downhill, and you need to lean into it while making sure the bike doesn't tip over, but keeping your momentum going forward. That is the cerebellum. Yeah. What do I need to stay balanced? I need to make sure that I shift my weight just right. I need to make sure that I look around for traffic. I need to make sure that I don't tip over too far and hit that gravel so the wheels come out from under me. I need all of that, and that is controlled in the cerebellum. Yeah, you don't need all that super fancy equipment to stay upright. You do need to wear a helmet, you need to wear pads and gloves, but you also need your cerebellum. That's going to keep you riding upright. Pretty cool, huh? You see what I did there? I was breathing. That's the brain stem. It keeps you breathing. And more. Oh yeah, another part of the brain is that small but mighty part called the medulla, or the brain stem. It sits beneath the cerebrum and in front of the cerebellum, and it connects the rest of the brain to the spinal cord, that string that runs down your back and neck. The brain stem is in charge of all the functions of the body that need to keep you alive. Things like breathing. Things like digesting your food, and in my case, that's a lot of work. Things like circulating your blood around through your whole body. Oh yeah, part of your brainstem's job is to control the involuntary muscles, like when you're sleeping and all of a sudden your leg jerks. Well, yeah, that's the involuntary muscles. That's the brainstem. Oh yeah. It's the brainstem that tells your heart to pump more blood when you're riding that bike, tipping over, and you want to go really fast, and it's super exciting. And it's the same one that tells your stomach to start digesting the food. The brainstem also sorts through all the millions of messages that the brain and the rest of the body send back and forth. Kind of like your email or your chat server. It knows which ones to send through and which ones are junk mail, and it sorts it out. Wow, that's a big job. It's like being the administrative assistant of your body. Okay, there's another one. I like to call it the pituitary gland. Yeah, and the reason I call it the pituitary gland is because, well, That's its name. The pituitary gland is what you really need right now because it's going to tell you to grow up. No, it's not going to say it like that when you do something silly. It's not going to say, "Would you grow up?" It's going to help you really grow up. It's really small. It's only about the size of a pea. Oh yeah. And its job is to produce and release something called hormones into your body. That helps you grow up. If the clothes that you wore last year are now too small, which oftentimes they are, it's because the pituitary gland released a special hormone that made you grow up. Oh yeah. And not only that, this little gland tells how much sugar and water needs to be in the body, and it tells you when you're thirsty or tells you when you've, really had too much chocolate cake. It does. Okay, there's one more. It's called the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. Yeah, that's a big one. Okay, actually it's a little one, but it's got a big job. It's like the internal thermostat in your body. Oh yeah, when you walk into the room and there's that little box on the wall and your mom or dad says, "Don't touch that because the temperature is exactly where I want it to be." And you're a little bit too cold or a little bit too hot and you want to change it because you know it's going to change the whole temperature of the room. Well, that's called a thermostat. In your body, hypothalamus. The hypothalamus knows exactly what temperature your body should be at, 98.6 degrees. If your body's too hot, the hypothalamus tells you, "Hey, you need to start sweating and cool you off." If your body's too cold, the hypothalamus says, "Hey, we need to develop some goosebumps on your skin and make you start shivering, because if you shiver, that means you're heating or warming up your body." Oh yeah, both shivering and sweating are attempts by your body to get it back where it needs to be. I'll bet you didn't even know that, did you? But now it's right back where it needs to be.